Hello everyone and welcome back to another episode of TerraVentures. It's Magpies here and I'm starting things off at the new shop where last week, we opened up this new shop, and I believe within 24 hours of me opening the shop we actually sold quite a bit of our golden carrots. We sold all of our chickens, which is why we didn't have our supply there. We didn't sell any of our sweet stuff, unfortunately, but I didn't really expect those things to sell. However, you can see we do have some competition. Within about 48 hours of me opening the shop, this thing opened up and they are selling diamonds, 1 diamond per 3 stacks. So that is quite a bit more than me. I changed my price as well. You can see I had 16 for a diamond earlier and now doing 64 for a diamond. So it looks like the owner of this shop has also changed their prices quite a bit as well. And they've got quite a bit of stock. So it looks like my game plan to get a lot of diamonds has spectacularly failed. However, that said, Furious Gamer 177, I think his name is, has agreed to let me have this shop, which is obviously a wood shop, selling all the logs at 2 diamonds a stack, which obviously I need to actually get rid of. And what's this down here? It's one of the other shops that was in here. I think I actually need to clear up this place a little bit. So I do need to get some more of this. What is this? The spruce logs, and replace everything in here. But that shouldn't take too long. So at any rate, what we do need to do is start getting ourselves a whole lot of logs. And for that, I'm going to revert to the same plan that I did in Season 1, which is to get myself a whole new... What is the thing? A tree farm. So that automatic tree farm, or semi-automatic tree farm actually. And to do that, we need a whole stack of redstone supply. So I believe there's a redstone shop right here. There's no ender chest though, so I need to go get a whole stack of diamonds and start buying out a lot of pistons, observers, and all those things required. So I'm going to quickly do that, and we shall be able to get back to our base and start supplying up our tree farm with lots of supplies ready to build. After that pretty expensive trip, I've now spent I think something like 40 to 50 diamonds just in this store alone, and I'm not yet done because there's still a little bit more I need to do. I am planning to build this thing out of slightly different materials, and I reckon that some end stone would be good. I'm actually running out of room in my inventory, but I think some of this stuff would be good. And yeah, I reckon I need this. So what I might do is find a crafting table, craft up that redstone into redstone blocks, and that should give me a little bit of space left. Then I can get back to that end store, which is a newly opened venture by the Brawler or Doom Corp, and that should give me some more things. Is there? No. This place really does lack a lot of things. It lacks crafting tables. Having said I just found one. It also lacks a lot of ender chests. There's only one that I could find in the entire area. And as a result, there's also actually another rocket shop. So this one now, I bought out quite a bit of stock in here. And there's also obviously the rocket here, and the, not sure what that is, but a shulker thing over here. So there's 3 rocket shops, all of which are selling diamonds for rockets for diamonds at a stack for 2 diamonds or something like that. So that's pretty good. And given that I'd like to fly around quite a bit, there's quite a bit of stuff that I need to do quite a lot of stuff I burn through. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 should be enough, I think. What's the price? 1 diamond a stack. So there we go, and I've spent so many diamonds here. So time to get back to the base and start actually producing the place for this. Now that I'm back at my base, the question is, of course, where to put this tree farm. Now, I did originally think of putting it right over here, but there's not quite enough room. It needs something like a 26 squared area, and if we're looking at here, we're at 2344, so another 26 in this direction would be 2370. And let's just collect these cows, these mushrooms. 2770 would put us here. That's sort of okay, but then we need to go 26 in this direction, which would be, or actually 28 in this direction, if we're honest, and 26 in this direction, which would be 2558, if my math is correct. No, we're minusing 26. So, say, let's actually move it here. 26 would be 2504, and 2504 puts us all the way out here. So we'd have to do quite a bit of terraforming, which means a lot of, well, A, we need to reclaim land, but B, we would need to make sure it's mob proof, which is something I've been enjoying with this mushroom island, no mobs. So that bit's out. The other place I did consider, if I can get myself facing the right direction, is over on the other side of our trading hall, which, let's just quickly get over there. This is very slow. Over here, once again, we run into the problem that there isn't quite enough depth this way. So the last space, and the space that I'm going to be building it in, is right over here, where you can see I've cleared quite a bit of land over here. This space is just about perfect, and it should give us a nice new sort of a skyscraper. I'm not sure if I'll build something on top of it to make it actually a skyscraper. I may build a bit of structure around it to make it look somewhat nice. But you can see I've put in some barrels, so we just need to dump off our materials, and that should be good. I also need to get some building blocks, some stone bricks, some iron bars, some dark prismarine, I think, and some other bits and bots to build with. So let's quickly get that done, and we should almost be ready to start. One thing I realized I haven't checked in a while is the Antarctic Guardian farm, and one we have noticed, we've got quite a bit of resources. So what we might do is make a quick trip to the shopping district and dump off this stuff, if I can actually find my room to actually craft this stuff, and we can make a bit more profit there. But this is good stuff. I also need this stuff for my own build. And now that I think about it, I also need to get myself some obsidian. Where's my mouse? There we go. So that's another thing that I don't think is in the shopping district, which is just a little bit disappointing, given that it's one of the main things that we actually need to gather up. We need tons of that stuff. We need quite a bit of other things, which we've mostly gathered already. It's back at the base, ready to go. I keep running out of room here, which is slightly annoying as well. Is that all the stuff? No, it's not. There's all those shards down there. There's quite a lot of stuff in here too, if we're honest. Yeah, what I might do is actually just put these 2 chests down as a temporary storage and dump the fish in, and then we can get just an extra bit of room to start to finish this stuff off with. And now we're flying along the very, very, very unsafe bridge that I built, that we built the other day, a few weeks ago, between episodes actually, to start on the way to the end. I just need to take myself off again. Ow. So this is just the way to the end portal. It's hopefully not too far, and hopefully I can actually get up there again, but it's pretty slow and obviously needs quite a bit of work to finish off. And can I land? Yes, I can. One thing I also did in between episodes was to stock up on my shulker box shop. So I went end raiding. I got quite a bit of tools. You can see now I've got both a silky shovel as well as a fortune shovel. Let's get back into first person. So that's quite good. I also have quite a lot more swords and armor and all that stuff ready to sell or just use again. You may also know I'm still holding a totem of a dying in my hand, and that's mainly because I have 2, or had 2 anyway, and kept one on my hand just in case I died, which I did once. I fell too much and took too much damage from those shulker towers. So those long holes, vertical holes, or vertical or horizontal? Vertical towers where the lots and lots of shulkers are. So it was really good that I had one in my hand ready to go, and I definitely used one, and I'm really thankful that I had one ready to be used. Where do I go from here? Oh, what? I went the wrong way. That's really, really annoying. This is really, really where I love the end. You can get a lot of the obsidian you need from lots of materials just from all these towers. And the best bit is, all you need to do to respawn it is respawn the dragon. That's just a little bit too close for comfort camera. Let's just get a little bit further away and continue on. Well, it's taken me about half an hour running back and forth and collecting all the resources, and then just about to start to build, and then remembering I've got a few more things to build. So let's just look at these barrels to have a look at what we need. If I can get first person, there we go. So over here we've got all our redstone supplies, and I'm not yet convinced that this is actually all the resources that I need here, but we'll have to make do. Let me just reorganize the resources a bit so I know what things are where. I might need to get myself a little bit more of the repeaters and all that, but I think I've got enough of the other things. Make that into redstone things because I'll need them. And let's see, these ones contain the other building blocks. The building blocks, the wood, the prismarine, lots of slime, dirt, all these things. Because the last thing I want to do is to get halfway through the build and then realize I still need to gather up some resources, because that's one of the worst things I need to do. Oh, I'd have to do. So anyway, so we've got the build here, and I believe we need to start somewhere in the middle. So what I will probably do is start building it every now and then, do a bit of a time lapse. Sorry, not a time lapse, just a bit of a progress update. See how we go, because from what I understand, this thing might take up to about 6 hours of real time building, as long as I don't obviously cheat, which I never would do. I did build this, of course, in creative once, and it took a really, really, really long time. So not looking forward to this that much, but it's something I'm going to have to do, and it's totally worth it given the amount of diamonds I got in the first season of TerraVentures from a similar tree farm. One thing we'll also have to do is move the beacon just a little bit closer, because I need to get the buffs for the digging, especially haste 2 and an efficiency 5 pickaxe if I can get one. An efficiency 5 axe. Not sure if sharpness affects it, and of course haste 2, and the axe should plow through the wood like it's, well, like paper or whatever you can call it. So that's just a couple of things to do. So time to start building, and time to start those progress update videos. And checking in for our first progress update, as you can see behind me, we've finished up quite a bit of the redstone. We've still got to build the cage around here, which is going to be all the pistons, observers, and whatnot, but all the bottom bit of the redstone, or most of the bottom bit of the redstone, is complete. And of course, when we've finished these, that wasn't very smooth. Once we've finished the cage around it with all the wood and the redstone and all the pistons and all that, we're going to have to build the top bit, which is going to be very tricky indeed. So we're getting there. We're probably about a third of the way through, and I think I'm making good time. Well, it turns out that even with all those pistons that I bought and all the observers and all that, I've still run out of pistons, normal pistons that is. So it looks like another trip back to the shopping district is in order to obtain all those pistons I need. I still need a whole stack of them. I need, let me see, I think it's 8 across or 10 across. No, 15 across by 15 up. So that's quite a bit more. That's like 4 stacks. Hopefully their store has enough. So let's just quickly fly over there and get our stock that we need, and we should be able to be back on this job as soon as possible. We are ever so close to finishing this thing. All we need to do now is build off the remaining cage around this thing, so where all the wood will be stored before we chop it all down. I think we need one more block there, and then we are done. So there's just a little bit more done, and then we can boot this thing up and start pumping out that wood. And there we have it. This building is now complete. I've now fully stocked it up with all the bone meal. It took quite a bit of the bone meal that I had stored up in the farms, and I think it's ready to go. Now, I don't exactly have a lot of saplings, so that might have to wait. However, I did realize now that fitting this into the skyscraper city theme I've got in here will be a bit of a trouble, because it's going to have to be quite big, quite long, and reasonably tall, because this thing is going to have to go up and down. This thing is quite big, and it's just all sorts of trouble. So, but I'll do that in a future episode. Well, I'm now in a bit of a hole right next to our tree farm, and the main reason for that is I need to put in all my first beacon, the one that I actually place. Now, I've been trading quite a bit, and I've got quite a lot of emerald blocks, not in addition to the one that I used for the 4 beacons that Waffly gave me. I've now got myself quite a lot of emerald blocks, and I think I've got hopefully just enough to get myself a full pyramid of beacon. a full pyramid of emerald blocks, which should be enough to get me haste 2, which will be incredibly important for this mission. Now, I'm not quite sure if I'm going to cover this with just glass, or I'm just going to let it go as an uncovered beacon, which would probably be very dangerous, or if I cover it up with grass and let the grass just grow over and make it look natural. I'm thinking of going with the last option. No, that's not in the right place. I'm thinking of going in the last option because that will be the best. That will be the best one. That's a little bit blinding. Yeah, so something like that will do, and I just cover this with grass. And of course, we need to select our power, so we put in our emerald, and we want haste 2. There we go. That should now be giving us haste spawn. There we go. So now just need to cover this with a bit of dirt, and we should be okie dokie to go. And I'm probably going to put a yellow or a brown piece of glass here to make it shine yellow, nice and bright, so we can tell it is haste 2. And after a bit of enchanting, and trading, which is why I've got more levels than I did in my previous clip, I've now got myself a wood chopping axe. So this should shear through pretty much every single piece of wood that I go through here in about 10 seconds flat. Well, maybe not 10 seconds, but it'll be pretty quick. And it's such a good axe. I reckon with the haste 2, would be just about 10 seconds. So what I need to do now is start stocking up this stuff, start stocking up my wood supplies, and then getting enough to restock that wood shop and start making more profits. This thing is pretty simple to use. We just make sure we've got the right type of saplings. In this case, we've got spruce, so we don't need to put on either of these ones. We now stand on here, flick the lever, put this on here, and what we'd normally do is put a weight on our phone, on our mouse, not our phone. So it should actually, that's not right. What's that doing? It should detect this and start firing everything. I don't think I got the timings quite right. Well, it's a good thing I tested that, because there's something slightly wrong with this, and all of those are out. Okay. Bit of an error, so we'll have to check on that and make sure we got everything right. I haven't yet been able to figure out what was wrong with it, so the guy who actually designed this, Lee Eisenbraun, I think it is, has kindly come onto the realm shortly to help us figure it out, so hopefully he'll be able to get it, and I'm very, very thankful to him for doing this for me. We've been working on this thing for about an hour or so, and we've made a few adjustments. It turns out I did miss one piece of redstone, which has since been replaced. I think it was the redstone piece dot just there. So that one was missing. There were a couple of observers in the wrong place, and the pistons in the middle weren't working correctly. So we're currently just in the process of just testing it on. This little bit here is that bit we were missing. I think it's because my farm is built north-south, and the ones that I built before and the one that Lee built is in east-west. So it's just a little bit of a difference. So I think we're currently just testing all the wood types. He's done wood, he's done birch. I think he's going to do the other two types. But once again, I am very, very, very thankful to Lee Eisenbraun, I think it is, for help coming on and helping me with all this stuff. This is the first time I'm actually seeing one of these invisible wandering traders. You can just make him out from all those particles there. I think he's right here. There we go. And those are pretty useless trades. Anyway, so this thing is now fully complete, fully working, fully souped up and ready to go. And what we do need to do now, if we want to get that log shop restocked, or stocked for the first time using our own logs, is to actually put this thing into gear and start booting it up and all that. Now we've got quite a lot of bone meal that should do this quite nicely. All we have to do, turn this thing on, put the thing here, and I've got my auto clicker now running away, and that should work quite nicely. So there we go, and perfect. So all we have to do is just sit here, click away, and let the machine do all the work. So I'm going to get all the 5 types of wood, because of course dark oak does not work in this, and we can get started. I do believe that the same guy who designed this machine also designed a dark oak one, so I might build that off camera and get that working as well. So we'll probably see that in a future episode, though not the actual building process. And there we go, we can now got our acacia and log and all those types of wood, except for the dark oak, because that is quite a bit different. Those are all ready to go. Now if I can take off, yes I do with my wings on. It can take off, there we go. So we can now hop over to the shopping district and restock our log shop. Now I may change the prices just a bit because, well, firstly it's our shop and we can determine what we want with it. But at the same time, that's not what we want. At the same time, I reckon that these things, not what I wanted. There we go. Sorry, this is all over the shop. Anyway, we can determine what prices we want because we have our own shop. I always get confused between this one and the log shop. Okay, so we just need to dump this stuff in. And what are these prices? We've got birch, 2 diamonds a stack. I reckon that's pretty reasonable. We do need to get a sign for the jungle though, but I reckon that is pretty reasonable. So we'll just quickly restock this thing and then we can get started. We can continue on with the episode. But this is where I must bid you good day, because unfortunately I've run out of time for today. So let's just get in first person. There we go. So we've managed to get ourselves a tree farm and we've managed to get ourselves a new shop in which to make lots of profits. Now obviously I didn't build this thing, but it has been repurposed by me, and thank you once again to Furious for letting me take over this shop. So hopefully this shop, just like the other one that I built in last time's episode, should net us a whole lot more profit. Now next episode I plan to be over at the castle, planning to do a little bit more construction there and hopefully do a little bit more building and just make that area just a little bit more beautiful. But that should be it for today. So I shall bid you good day and see you in the next one. Don't forget to like, subscribe and all that jazz, and see you soon.